92.5.
Next to you.
I like you.
You know what I'm interested in is, first of all, you started playing guitar at 15. That's kind of late for a lot of musicians.
It kind of is. I mean, I always kind of like tiptoed around music a little. That was a really weird visual, but it's piano, violin. No, I mean, just growing up, I like 10 years old or so. I mean, always as a kid, I was intrigued by music and everything. Had like the random, like electric things that you could get at Service Merchandise, the random store in Central Texas. That was kind of like, I like music, and then played piano. Our neighbor like taught piano lessons, so I like played that for a while, and then I didn't like the music, so I just stopped playing, even though I still play.
Right.
And then violin, like in school, and stopped playing that. Dang it. And then 15, I picked up the guitar and started writing songs, and I've been doing that ever since.
So was that when you knew, like when you started playing guitar, is that when you thought, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life?
I didn't. I have juvenile diabetes, so I thought, up until I was about 18, I was planning on being a diabetic doctor, a pediatric endocrinologist.
How about that? Yeah.
Help kids with diabetes, just because I had diabetes. I had great doctors that I could relate to, and went, you know what? I can use this bummer thing for good and help kids with it. And about 18 is when I decided, you know what? I can go to school for this and at least make people think I'm doing, have a real education, which I did. It was great.
Yeah,
I went to
what did
school
you
for
get your
music
degree in?
business. Music business. Went to Middle Tennessee, just south of Nashville. And the main reason is it gives you a reason to stick around Nashville. It's like, you could be in Nashville for a year or 2 years and they don't even know you're there yet. It just takes a long time someone's investing in your creativity. Mm-hmm. So they need to know what you create, and that takes a long time.
Sure.
To get to know.
It's like building a portfolio kind of thing,
absolutely.
right? Yeah.
And we all have a different story. Some people come to town and just blows up. I mean, usually everybody thinks it happens overnight because of television shows. It doesn't. It's like most people on those television shows had record deals to begin with.
Right.
Anyway.
I know. You hear so much about
but
that.
it's just we all have our own story, and my story went to Nashville when I was 20 and got a little bit of education in the music business. Gave me a way to get into music publishing companies, to write songs for them and record labels and all that. And here we are, 13 years later.
So let's talk a little bit more about the medical background here, though, because you had juvenile diabetes. That's not something that you outgrow, right? You still have to deal with that.
Until they approve the cure for it.
So how do you handle that? Because you live a pretty dynamic lifestyle. I would imagine that you can't always be super careful, but you kind of have to be.
No, you always have to be careful. I mean, it's always being aware and not turning your back on it, going like, I'll be fine. It's like, that's one of the bummer things. It's like, I just tell all diabetics that I meet, it's like, the more you take care of yourself, the better you'll feel. It's like testing your blood, going, okay, I need some insulin, or wow, I really do need to eat something. You'll just feel better. And I was just showing y'all, bragging on this. It's called a CGM, continuous glucose monitoring, and it's a little bitty wire just barely under my skin, and you change it out like every 7 days. The first time I took it off, I literally thought it was so small. I was like, holy crap, the sensor's still in me. Not to get freaky out, but it sends a reading every 5 minutes to my phone and to my tour manager. So like you were saying, on the road, it's crazy hectic. So it's like, are we gonna ever eat lunch? Or are we gonna, you never know when you're gonna eat.
And then somebody can look at their phone and be like, hey, wait, we have to.
But the main thing is, when we're rocking on stage, my tour manager, Steve, will just tell me in my in-ear monitors, like, hey, man, go drink some orange juice. And we always have orange juice on stage. So everybody just thinks I'm like chugging a whole whiskey. Vodka.
It's a whiskey.
Who knows? But it's just really amazing. And so it's like, instead of always doing the finger prick tests, I get one of those readings every 5 minutes. It's pretty amazing.
It really is.
Well, the Angels in This Town tour, as you're talking about it. Now, this is a bigger tour, you were telling me.
It's awesome.
Explain the stage setup.
So we did our very first show last night in Providence. It was freaking awesome. I've had a rock and roll setup, full piece band for the last forever. I had to say that in British accent, Liverpool.
Very authentic.
I've wanted to have a fifth guy come on for years, and he's called a utility player. So he plays like fiddle and keys, which is piano, and all kinds of,
Thank you.
It could be strings as well. No, but fiddle, piano, banjo, mandolin, great singer, and we're just having a blast and have a new set up, some new covers that people haven't heard us sing yet.
Really?
And new songs off the album. But it's we're having a blast and just got started on this tour. Lindsay L's out with us right now. She's great.
So great, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many new up and comers that it's great to see a show like yours because we get to see you, but we also get to see somebody like Lindsay L, right, who isn't getting radio airplay yet, but is pretty well respected already.
Absolutely, she will.
Yeah,
You just got to put it out there.
Yep.
Are you thinking about bringing her on stage for a couple songs, maybe?
She might hop up there tonight.
I don't want to give away any surprises.
We've talked already. Yeah. But we're having a blast. The crowd was great. We can't wait to rock it tonight.
And the 6-man jam. I mean, you like to kind of get down on stage. I remember you dancing. I remember you got actually dared to dance, and you started dancing.
I believe that was probably Charles Kelly.
Yes.
He always calls me out on it.
He's the instigator.
We were playing outside of Atlanta the other night, and I'm playing "She Don't Love You," and all of a sudden I feel hands on my back, and I'm like, am I about to get stabbed? 2, am I about to get stabbed? Why am I about to get stabbed? And then Charles started singing on "She Don't Love You." He's a big fan of all that, and just it's nice when other people put their arm around you. You know.
Yeah.
The Luke Cole Swindell syndrome. It's great. It works out. It works out.
Not everybody can get away with it, but you guys can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So what else? Oh, so you were talking about doing some covers. What are some of your favorite covers to do on stage?
For last year and a half, we were rocking Satisfaction. Speaking of rock and roll stones,
I love it. We just
but
slips
we're
right
not
into
we're
it.
not going to
That's
do it tonight. Actually, this is kind of wild. We're going to have another British song played. She might cuss a little more than Jagger, but anyway.
That's too vague of a hint.
We
You
might
gotta give me a little
be
more.
playing some Adele tonight.
Oh, really?
I saw her. She was in a phone booth just down the hallway. Y'all have her face on an old red British.
Did you notice Luke too?
phone booth.
You
Luke
pass
is-
Luke too.
Oh, he was in here.
He's
Luke
in the
is
other
in
the
here?
hallway now.
He's in the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted to give you your space.
They made cutouts of me, but they were all too short, and I said, "Throw them away.
Throw them away.
You know, I want to ask.
These are only 6'1". I'm taller."
You're talking about playing covers and being a guitarist as well. And I'm a crappy musician, but nonetheless, every guitarist, when you're not in the mood to play or anything like that, but you think to yourself, well, I'm going to pick it up and just play at least one song. What's your go-to song?
You know what's wild? One of the first songs I ever figured out. I remember sitting right in front of the CD player for months, trying to figure out Eric Clapton's "Tears in Heaven."
Oh, okay.
And I don't know the chords, but I can play the whole song, like the.
So that's your go-to.
It's just ingrained in me because it took so long for me to figure it out.
Goes into this. I mean, you've written so many hits. Have there been any ones where you're like, this is gonna just go right up to the top, and it didn't happen?
Yes, and they never happen.
Well,
That's
wait,
just
wait, wait, wait.
Nashville. That's not. That's where you go like, God, that's the best record ever, and it's like, oh dang, and then that's the best record ever. Oh shoot, and that's a lot. That's it's songs that people don't know if you listen to albums, but it encourages everybody. So there's some songs I think that help feed the musician to create greatness rather than it be heard by the masses, and unfortunately it should be heard by the masses.
Well, I want you to point everybody in a direction. What song do you think is out there that people should like? It may be radio missed, and people should go back and listen to. What is it?
Angels in This Town.
Okay.